All right, good morning, everybody. So far, all the data that we had pre-market is being taken bearishly. Non-farm was pretty low, unemployment was slightly higher than expected, and retail sales were also a little low. Pretty one-directional pre-market here, so it is leading to, or possibly leading to, a overnight fade if that buy pressure on the open is pretty strong. Look for that retrace back into prior value, most likely yesterday's value. That would be around 804 to 877. If we stay below this lowest value level, which is around Tuesday, then we're going to keep looking for lower value, possibly 719 and 76. We definitely have a trend profile developing with a couple of major nodes on the way down. So if we don't see that significant buy pressure on the open, you are most likely going to continue. So above or below 768, above we're looking for 804, 877. Below we are looking for, let's say, 719 and 76. And as I said, today would be a bearish trend day with a possibility of a overnight fade if there's a lot of buyer delta on the open. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ here. Do we need to change these levels? I think we're just going to lower the upper level to 875, but I think 875 is still the best level for this overlap. So the POC we have here at, we'll just say 25,000, nice hold number. And then 216. And then downside, I believe, is still good. We actually hit our first target, so I do need to lower that. We'll say 514 and 352. Getting a little bit of buy pressure out of the open on NASDAQ. No overnight fades so far. Not completely flipping. Still pretty bottom heavy on ES here. A lot of bearish value coming in. Good morning, TD, Jose, Orion, Igor, Morris, Future, Lulu, Ram, Banana, Roman, Brian. Good morning, AT, Larry, Flory, Leo, Angelo, Greg, Nitro. Good morning, eBay, Scott, Crab, Roma, Ike, Julio, Hose, Luis. Good morning, Anthony, Trevor, Ordinary. Good morning, Anthony, Creso, Joe, Michael, and Brent. Appreciate you guys being here. Happy Friday, guys. We do have a little bit of stuff happening after the bell today, but most of the data came out pre-market. Looks like oil having another strong day, up like 13%. Yeah, it's at 89 right now. Wow. Yeah, these are deltas. Yep. These are deltas with a 60 EMA, which equates to an hour. What membership is this? I have the highest access on Addis, but I have an affiliate account, so they give me essentially the highest access. But to copy my charts, you need the one that provides like live data, and then you should be good. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Lumir. Good morning, Dez. How can you copy my chart? I have the template in Discord. If you're not in Discord, you have to watch my 5th video in the Apex series. I don't check crypto daily because I don't trade it daily anymore. We check it like probably once or twice a week. It's still kind of in that zone for the long-term cycle buying. It bottomed on one of our levels like damn near to the tick. I mean, obviously $200 off, but on the daily, that is damn near to the tick. That is a very good bottom. It is hitting that range that was way back in 2024, 2025, basically the entire year, created a really big value range. And we're hitting right where that value low is. Still looks pretty bearish. It's still rejecting its bearish VWAPs. This impulse down rejected the pullback. This impulse down rejected the pullback as well. Pretty decent bounce from 60 to like 75, but overall still pretty bearish. Lower highs, lower lows. You are at that territory, like I said, for the long-term buying. I think you're down, what, 50%? Yeah, down 50% from the high. Currently 45. So anything below 50 is typically a good long-term buy. You could do like somewhere around basically anything below 60, 55, 50, anywhere in the 40s. I don't know if you'll get the 40s though. It's a pretty big drop. It's a 70% drop. The more realistic is probably from 60 to 48, 45. I mean, buying here and holding on for 3 years, 2 years wouldn't be the worst place either. But that's why you kind of average into it. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to try to pick the bottom. A lot of bullish delta coming in here. Trying to sweep the lows here, possibly starting an overnight fade if we can actually hold a node above this 40. Who won the laptop giveaway? I do not remember off the top of my head. I think it was somebody named Scott, if I remember correctly. We got a lot of Scotts in the channel. I think it was one of the Scotts. We'll probably do another big giveaway this year. Oh, there goes my internet. Am I lagging on Discord? Might just be YouTube. YouTube looks like it's lagging a little bit. If I randomly disappear, it's probably my YouTube. Yeah, what I was saying is we'll probably do another big giveaway this year, but it might not be that big. That was a pretty large giveaway. We'll see how the year goes. We'll see how the market goes, etc. Good morning, Ryder. Good morning, Nolly. Oh, sorry, guys. Forgot to pin the trade plan. There you go. Still getting a lot of bullish delta here. Anthony, you just got to watch the Becoming an Apex Trader series. And that goes for anybody else in here if you guys are new to the channel. If you just tuned in today, yesterday, this week, whatever. You guys need to watch the Becoming an Apex Trader series. I put that out last year. That series was specifically made for you guys who are just finding the channel. It will get you caught up to all the stuff that I teach. How I trade, how I chart. All the lingo I use on stream, etc. A lot of bearish delta coming in. They are not able to hold that 40 node, so we are not seeing an overnight fade. Well, the overnight fade has to start after the open. If it doesn't start within the first, like, 45 minutes, it's not really happening. No change in our trend so far. They're trying to protect this lower node around 28. The sellers are trying to protect it. It's also become the POC. There are a ton of Fed talks today. Basically from now until, like, pretty much the close, actually. So possibly a lot of Fed headlines coming out. Yeah, so far the 719 level is damn near the bottom. The bottom is 718. 76 is the next level. You can send it to my admin email. There you go. Trying to recover this POC node here. Let's see if they can actually put in any higher lows. You do have a higher low on NASDAQ. Trying to put in a higher high here. It's the same reason you break down like the full session profile and the cash profile. They just tell you kind of different stories when the value is doing what. Very bottom heavy so far today, so we typically do not see those overnight fades when you're showing this much bottom heavy pressure because they need to flip that really quickly. still getting a ton of bullish delta here. Mostly being absorbed into this little node right here, which is most likely limit selling. We're probably seeing a large block of limit sellers right here. And they're trying to hold that down. Want to junk? Want to chuck? Asparagus, good morning. Still a ton of bullish delta coming in here. Doesn't look like they are holding it down as much on this candle. Look at how quickly they broke through that node. Those limit sellers are lifting here. Yeah, Stuart, no problems, man. Have a good weekend. I'm not sure how it works, DMG. I think they might send you an email. You're probably not going to get it anytime soon because it's probably going to be like Monday or Tuesday since it's on a Friday. Want a mag? Yeah, usually what happens, like you guys, you give me your info. I put it in like a list, send it to them. They have a big time zone difference because they're in Europe. Um, so typically like a day or two later, they send out the licenses or whatever they do, and then you guys typically see it. So I'd say like maybe Tuesday, probably Wednesday at the latest. Not seeing as much limit selling pressure. You are seeing a little bit at 45. Very top heavy node, almost no trading down here, which shows that they kind of flipped that node because we had so much buying here, limit selling, market buying. And then they went through it very easily. It looks like they don't like how easily they got through that, so they're going to retest it here. Yeah, like have a good weekend, man. I'll see you on Monday. Still seeing that slight bullish bias on NASDAQ compared to ES. Like it's a bit more bullish. They're obviously both still pretty bearish overall, but NASDAQ slightly better. Is that my internet again, or is that TradingView? Looks like TradingView's messing up for some reason. Oh, did you win one of the accounts, Mag? Yeah, no problem, man. Good morning, Faraj. Putting in a higher low now. Let's see if it can actually hold above this 45 node. Possibly pulling back into VWAP around 68. Is that right, Jason? I'll have to take a look at that because that is a thing we've been waiting on for years, if not decades. I know they've been waiting on that to be passed. I think in today's market environment, it definitely has the highest probability of being passed. Just like 100%. I know you're saying that it's already passed, but I'll believe it when I see it, right? I'll believe it when it's actually put into place. But I think that in this environment, it has the highest probability of passing because we are in an extremely high risk environment that people are taking bets on everything, right? We have sports gambling going out of control. We have prediction markets going out of control. I mean, you name it, people are betting on it, right? So that's one of those things that is, it's like the old guard. It's still in place from a different era. It has no business being in place in this current market. But yeah, that'll be cool, man. If that finally does get passed, I would like to maybe do a small account challenge like we did last time for the penny stocks. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit worried about doing a small account challenge on penny stocks nowadays because my stream is a little bit bigger. And penny stocks are pretty easily manipulated, even if you have a couple of people following your trades. The last time we did a small account challenge was it was right around Biden's inauguration. So when was that? Like 2020 something? 2021? It was 2020 or 2021. But yeah, that was the last time we did a penny stock challenge. And it went really well. But our stream was definitely not as big as it is now. Might have to do things a little bit differently if we do it this time. And even back then, when we had like 5 people or so taking the same penny stock trade, we could literally see it on a chart. Like we could see how we were pushing the chart around. And that is a very slippery slope, right? You get into that realm of like being a pump and dump group and all that bullshit. Yeah, I love trading penny stocks. We used to do it all the time. Kind of one of the things I started out on, so it's kind of like nostalgic to go back to penny stocks. But definitely as a streamer, it's a little bit dangerous. They're so low float, they're so easy to push around. Yeah, maybe we'll do like a 5K challenge account, or maybe like, what do you say it is? It's 2K is the limit? If 2K is the limit, maybe we'll do like 4 or 5K. Yeah, still keeping an eye on this VWAP backtest. Very top heavy candle now. protecting that upper value. Still bouncing off that 19 level damn near perfectly. There would be single prints here if there was not, if that wasn't pre-market. So if you wanted to treat that like single prints, it would go up to like 83. Somewhere in the mid 80s. But yeah, like I said, we've been waiting on that for a long time, so I'll believe it when I see it, when it's actually in place. But if you guys don't know what that is, it's the I think it's only for the US. I don't think it's for anybody else. But the US has like a day trading rule where if you don't have $25,000 in your account, you can't day trade more than 3 times a week. And that counts for multiple exits as well, which is so stupid. So if you take one trade, but then you exit twice, that counts as 2 trades. So that's been in place since like the .com crash back in the early 2000s. And they've been trying to get rid of that basically since then. And it fails every single time. So the dotted VWAP is the session VWAP. That's the one that starts at the actual start of the day, which is technically the prior day at 6 p.m. No, I'm not going to do any Apex challenges. That's literally that's just my job, right? That's just what I do every day. I do the penny stock challenges because they're fun. It's kind of like, it's basically gambling. It's basically like taking money to a casino and just having fun with it. Trading futures is not fun for me. This is literally my job. Yes, OC. So I'd recommend watching my Apex video. I go over all the changes. But even though it's the same trailing system, the accounts still have all the better rules. Like the new accounts still have the better rules. The better consistency, the better drawdown rules, the better, I mean, pretty much everything. The only downside is the drawdown is slightly worse. So the old accounts, it was 2,500 for the intraday, and now the new one is 2,000. But yeah, all the new rules are pretty much better. There's nothing wrong with the old accounts. You can still pass the old accounts easily as well, just as easily as the new ones. But if you're somebody who's trading very aggressively, and you found yourself breaking those rules on the old accounts, and you were denied payouts, etc., the likelihood that you'll be denied payouts on the new accounts is a lot lower. They made it so it's very hard to be denied payouts on the newer accounts, as long as you're trading pretty much normally and not just kind of like gambling the accounts. I mean, in my opinion, the old accounts were pretty hard as well, but people were still struggling with the payouts getting denied. But I trade very differently than most people. I'm a very slow and I don't trade very often. I'm not taking like gamble trades, right? Here's VWAP. Not touching it on ES, but you are tapping it on NASDAQ. Yeah, I think like literally the only downside, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only one that I can really think of, is the drawdown goes down 500 from 2,500 to 2,000. Pretty much everything else would be seen as a bonus. I guess here's another downside. The legacy accounts, if you still have them, you can really take your time on those accounts because they recur. So like if you want to take 6 months, you can do that. Obviously, you're going to pay for 6 months, so it's going to cost you a lot. But you can really take your time on it. The new accounts, you can't take that much time on. You have to pass it in a month. Which normally I would say that's not great. But with our volatility right now, I mean, look at this bounce off the bottom. We're literally bouncing 40 points already. With our current volatility, I think their new system is much better. The volatility is just ridiculous right now. It's absolutely absurd. Like I said, we've already bounced 40 points just off the bottom here. You'd be lucky to get 40 points in a day on ES. I also think for that reason, the end of day drawdown accounts are probably better for most people right now because of how many points we're whipping back and forth. So that will give you some time to repair that drawdown if you accidentally break it intraday. I personally don't mind the trailing drawdown. Like I've talked about, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. But I think in the current market, you're probably better off with the end of day. They're just slightly more expensive. They're still 85% off if you use code BREW. I think they're like 30 bucks, maybe 25 bucks, somewhere around there. With the discount code, they're pretty accessible. Keep an eye on VWAP here at 67. You can take trades when you retest the POC, but in my mind, it's still kind of a POC trade. That was more of like a higher low. I called that out when it happened, the putting in the higher low. It's a market structure shift because you're going from lower lows to higher lows. So you'd be more so trading because you're breaking structure, you're changing it into a semi-bullish short-term structure. And then that node is kind of just helping you out. That's also where the, I marked that out earlier. We had a ton of limit selling there, and then you didn't really have any on the second way up, the second attempt. The sellers kind of gave up. I'm not sure if my editor will have time to make some shorts this weekend, but I'm going to send him a couple of the shorts, and if he has time, we'll put those out next week. He said he's going to be busy for the next few weeks, so we'll see if he has time. Yeah, Ollie, somebody was saying in chat, I think they already approved it. But like I said, I'll wait and see when it actually gets implemented. That has failed to be approved for like 20 years. So I'm not going to make any plans until that is actually in the system. It doesn't affect too many investors like us, like the longer term investors, the futures traders, stuff like that. It just affects like the people that want to try out trading. They want to give it a shot, see if they like it, test out day trading, or the people that just want to kind of gamble a little bit. They pushed it a perfect time because this is a new candle, so it won't have single prints for a very long time. Running into VWAP now, no seller reaction on VWAP so far. Yeah, it should be very good for the penny market, which is what I'm keeping an eye on. You would think so. Want a Bowser? So far, no reaction on VWAP here. You're just kind of ignoring it. Keep an eye on that ADMA. Good morning, Victor. Ignoring VWAP here. A little late in the day to call this an overnight fade, but it has the same idea. Trying to go against this overnight one-directional pressure. Keep an eye on 89. There's a very strong node from yesterday down here at 89. And then that would be the retrace of today. If you can stay back above 804, then you start looking for that retrace of Thursday, possibly into the POC, possibly value high. But we have a lot of levels to go to look at that. Starting to retrace, or finishing the retrace of today, and then starting to retrace yesterday. If it can stay above 954. Like I said, they picked a really good time to break this upper tail, or push the upper tail, because you won't have single prints for a long time here, still 20 minutes. But single prints possibly going down to 63. Possibly trying to repair the single prints, possibly a VWAP trap. We'll have to see if it can stay below VWAP, back below 63 here. Yeah, it's always a thing that happens. Like if you're in a trade, but then you see a setup from the other side of the trade. So like if you're in a long, you see a bearish setup that you like to take, like a bear flag and a VWAP or something. And usually you just treat that as like a take profit. Or if you really want to jump into that trade, you can treat it as like a reversal, right? Where you completely take profit, but then you also take the bearish trade. It just depends on how strong the bearish trade is, like the bearish setup. Is it strong enough to where you should be completely flipping? Or is it just strong enough to where you probably should get out of your long, right? But yeah, usually if there's a bearish setup showing, you don't want to see that when you're in a long. So at the bare minimum, that typically means you should be closing something. Yeah, Des, I mean, I basically do that every single day. That's pretty much what I do at the start of the stream when I talk about macro levels. I mean, macro in a sense of short time frame. I don't do macro like very long time frame. But when I do my levels, they typically take all day to hit if the day's not going crazy. The days sometimes can hit it very quickly. But as a scalper, using the dailies and the weeklies, that's pretty macro, right? You're looking at a much higher time frame. But I don't talk about like a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. I'm not that macro. There is just way too much stuff going on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, all the data coming out, all the wars, the FOMC decisions, I mean, you name it. I think trying to plan for a long time out is just pointless and you're wasting time. If you're trying to plan long term, it's more so investing. It's not really for trading. For me, in my opinion, and my trading style. I don't like the middle of that. I like the beginning, which is the scalping, the intraday trading, and I like the end, the long-term investing. I don't like the middle. The swing trading for like a couple of days, couple of weeks, all that stuff. Not really my cup of tea. I think it's kind of a waste of brain power. This is a bear flag and a VWAP now. It's more of a VWAP trap where you tried to go above VWAP, couldn't find buyers. Now we're back below VWAP. So keep an eye on that, the next VWAP, the daily one, and then the prior lows. I got to mute for a minute. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I had to mute for a few minutes. You did bounce right off of that daily VWAP, so you have that kind of back and forth price action in that danger zone between the VWAPs. You also repaired most of the single prints. There's one left going down to 63. So keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's a bar timer, I believe it's called. Bar timer, yeah. Hey, Joe, have a good one if you're still here. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend, Chevy. Really big block trade on NASDAQ here. How many contracts was that? 531. But this is where I said if you look at single prints on the pre-market, they're being filled in. I don't watch single prints on the pre-market, but they would go up to like 83 here. And then here is that value high. So the rotation of today is completed. So if we do not stay above the mid 80s here, it is very likely going to continue back downward. You're kind of being pulled down and stuck in this danger zone here between the VWAPs. If you lose 67, you could just range those VWAPs for a while. Trying really hard to hold on to that session VWAP here as support. Yeah, you definitely have to have the time zones match like where VWAP is pulling from. Like you want VWAP to pull from whatever the session open is the prior day, so whatever time that is for you. And then the 9:30 open, whatever time that is for you. stuck between the VWAPs here. Keep an eye on that daily VWAP at 46. Come on, Maverick. It's so funny because we're like highly volatile, but somehow slow and boring at the same time. Failing the backtest of that value high at 77. So this does look like it wants to continue to build lower value. Watch for a failure to rotate. So if it can hold above that POC, it could fail to rotate, targeting Thursday's value. If it does not fail to rotate, then obviously value low and then lower tail extension, because we are a lowercase b with no lower tail. Yeah, no problem, Des. You did finish filling in all those single prints back to 63. That value high is still holding you down, so you're technically in a lower rotation here. It's just taking a long time to get there. You're trying to rotate back down to that 30 to 25 area. You can see why we call this the danger zone. It just chops around like crazy when the VWAPs do this. No, Anthony, that's the chart that has the purple profile and the white profile. Those are broken up that way. The other one is the blue profile and the white one. The blue one is pre-market. Keep an eye on this daily VWAP losing that. You're just continuing that rotation back down to like 20 to 25. You're in a downward rotation. It's just taking a very long time. All right, guys, we're going to call it here. You guys enjoy your weekend. If you guys are in Discord, I will be streaming in there for the rest of the day, as always. If you guys can get the likes above 100, we'll quickly do a giveaway here. Press that live button. Make sure you are up to date for the giveaway. Giveaway will be for a free Apex account, any size, either the end of day or the intraday, doesn't matter. If you guys are heading out, enjoy your weekend. I will be back on Monday, same time as always. Be on the lookout for this rotation. We are currently in a downward rotation going back down to the 20s, possibly around that POC node, around 30. You could stall out on the full session POC around 45, so keep an eye on that. But the actual rotation should go down to like 22 to 30. I'm actually not sure on that, Ram. Last I remember, it was like a really short one, so I don't think you have much longer, but I don't know the exact day. Okay, we are above 100. I appreciate that, guys. Let me go ahead and get that ready. Like I said, press that live button. Make sure you're up to date. If you guys have not participated in the giveaway before, just pick a random number between 1 and 50. Only pick one number. Don't worry about tying with somebody else. We will do a tiebreaker. And this is for a Apex account. So Apex Trader Funding prop firm for futures. I'm sure you guys know who they are. If you guys need more information on their new changes, be sure to check out my most recent upload. I put out like a 15-minute video covering all the changes to Apex that they did last week. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds. Be sure to have your email ready. I will have to verify your email to send over the promo code. If you guys don't win the account and you want to use the code is BREW, B-R-E-W. It will give you 85% off. I don't know until when. I'll get back to you guys on Monday on that. All right, get your numbers in. If you haven't already, I'm going to go ahead and start rolling. All right, good luck, guys. I'm going to go ahead and roll. The last number I see is from trades. It is lucky number 3. I think we've pulled 3 before. 3 is not a bad one. Does anybody have 3? Let me know. I will double check your chat history. Funny enough, I don't think we have a 3. Usually a pretty common number. All right, I'll give you another like 10 seconds. If you did not, or sorry, if you did have 3, let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and roll again. All right, rolling again. Last number I see this time is Sly. It is 17. Let me know if you have 17. I do see a couple of 17s. Tom and Tom. Tom B and Tom B. You guys are like long lost brothers or something. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys have both picked the same number before as well. You guys are actually related some way. It's pretty funny. Okay, is there anybody else or is it just the 2 Toms? I think it's just you guys. All right, so pick a number between 1 and 10 and try not to pick the same number this time. Okay, 7 and 4. Good luck, guys. It was 4. Tom Bivens. I was going to say Tom B again, but you're both Tom B. Here is my giveaway email. Send me an email. Let me know what your YouTube name is, and I'll send you a random number to type in chat. Failing to rotate here, bouncing off of VWAP. Should have been one smooth rotation back down, which it is not. If you guys are heading out, enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you guys on Monday. If you're in Discord, I'll be hanging out there the rest of the day as well. Let me know when you send the email. I'll take a look. All right, I see. I'm going to send you a random number. Just type that in chat. You should be good to go. I got you, Tom. So the next thing you'll see is the promo code. So just go sign up for any size account, either end of day or regular drawdown, and then just put the code in. You're good to go. But all right, guys, I will be back Monday. Enjoy your weekend. I will be in Discord the rest of the day as well. So if you guys are there, I'll see you over there. Peace, everybody.